Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from Astrolada.com, and these are your November 2023 video horoscopes for each of the 12 signs, with an intro talking about the world events as well. And I've been looking forward to talk about this month because there is something very important happening this month, which is Mars and the Sun are joining together. This happens once every 2.2 years. And as you'll see from my presentation, it actually determines some of the most important tasks and problems that humanity and the individual person will be working on for the next 2.5 years after this conjunction. So we'll cover each of the signs and what it can mean for the world. And also another very good news that I have is that Saturn is turning direct. And that's good news because certain karmic or complicated situations or situations that were stuck will start moving forward, will start unfolding, will start having resolutions. So this is exciting. Just before I start, I want to let you know that my 2024 video horoscopes, 2.5 hours for each sign, you can pre-order them already for 30% discount. They will be released in November, but anyone who pre-orders will get the 30%, and you will be sent on the date of the release on the 17th of November your specific videos on or bunch of videos, ascendant, sun and moon, whatever you choose. And also my 2023 astrology calendar, which I've been doing for 5 years now, and it's very successful with all transits for the year, when planets become visible and invisible, the meaning of all transits, the meaning of all new moons and full moons. They're not specific for you, they're general, but you have like a calendar. It's the 120, 50 pages usually every year, and it's interactive. So you click on the date and it takes you to the meaning of that transit and the events that are happening then, so you can plan your year ahead. But now let's go to this Mars Sun conjunction. First, I'll speak a little bit about the world. Why is it so important? Because the Sun Mars conjunction shows where our biggest battles and fights and our biggest breakthroughs are happening for the next 2.5 years. Let me just remind you, in 2019, towards the end, the Sun and Mars met in Virgo. So what happened for the next 2.5 years? Virgo is a sign of sickness, illness, taking care of your health. Well, we had a pandemic. All the efforts, which is Mars, of the world and all the bright minds, the sun of the world, were getting together to solve this issue or to mess it up, whatever. So that's what happened last time, the time before last. Then the next 2021, towards October, Sun and Mars met in Libra. And it meant that for the next 2 years till now, the theme was very different. It wasn't, so that's when COVID hysteria started dying out and the cases going down and the lockdowns going down, but a new set of problems appeared, which was Libra to solve. So what happened? Libra is one of the signs of peace and war, or lack of peace. Then we had the eruption of the war in Ukraine. And what happened? Libra is about taking sides. Libra is about negotiations, is about treaties, is about diplomatic sanctions or diplomatic agreements. Well, all the world for 2.5 years was focused on this Libra issue of, and the world actually split into two factions. BRICS and the Western world. The Western world, which is more the globalists, as they call them, and BRICS, which they said, like, we don't want to follow the rules of this agenda. So the world split in two, literally. In Libra also rules business, trading agreements. There was like such kind of rearrangements of alliances. So that was the hugest focus after that. And now we're coming for the next one. So what is going to be the next set of problems? And you're seeing already the war in Ukraine is almost like out of everyone's mind. But where Mars and the Sun are going to meet now in November on the 18th. And we can feel it a month before that, like we started. They're going to meet in Scorpio. And Scorpio is not as forgiving sign as Libra. Scorpio is can be one of the most devastating signs. It can be one of the most destructive signs. It's very profound as well. So Scorpio reveals truths, reveals hidden secrets, brings to the surface everything that is dirty, the dirty skeletons, the dirty laundry, as you say, of the world. All conspiracies, all anything that has been done on the closed doors, they will be a focus for the next 2 years. But Scorpio is a sign of war. Scorpio is and now we're talking that is more dangerous one. And I pray to God it doesn't escalate to something more extreme, but Scorpio is a sign of terrorism, of war, of extreme hostilities. Libra, at least there was some kind of negotiation there. They managed to piece, the balance a little bit. It didn't spread like fire. When Scorpio and the Sun and Mars join in Scorpio, the next 2.5 years can be under a lot of like extreme reactions, scorpionic power struggles in the world, rebellions, it's physical violence as well. It's likely extreme hatred, but also it will show us 2.5 years period of people doing extreme acts of heroism as well. There is the other spectrum of Scorpio, and Scorpio can be, the destructive force, but also the resurrecting force, the extremely healing force. And they're meeting at the 25th degrees in Scorpio. And that's in tropical astrology is the sign Scorpio, and in sidereal, your actual constellations. It's also the sign Scorpio. The sign Scorpio is basically, so both the constellation Scorpio and the sign Scorpio. So there is both astrologies, Western and Vedic, agree. It's in the sign of the Scorpion, near the close of the Scorpion. It's actually, in Vedic astrology, this lunar mansion, we call it, is called Vishaka. And it's the lunar mansion of power. This is one of the most powerful lunar mansions. And this lunar mansion is this lunar mansion of war as well, the warrior king. So again, these are key words, warrior king. So at the personal level, you become a warrior somewhere. And this warrior king, they describe Vishaka as the most focused and concentrated power, horse with blinkers, nothing distracts you. You can't see others' opinion like Libra now. It's like action. You straight, you charge, you don't care, you can trample others towards your goal. So collectively the energy will be like that. Governments, people, like unapologetic, kind of almost ruthless energy. My son has his moon there when he's born. Anyone who has their moon around the last degrees of tropical, from the middle of tropical Scorpio towards the later ones, they're Vishaka. Focused, concentrated, obsessive quality, which is fantastic for a person because these people can be so successful. This is the power, the lunar nakshatra of power and purpose. So whatever this conjunction is happening in your horoscope, we'll cover the 12 signs. You'd have unflinching obsession, passion, dedication to pursue something there, to wage a war against something, to overcome some issue, and you can even, there is a saying that for this lunar nakshatra, the ends justifies the means, which is not true. We have to be careful, but with this, so we have, especially in the political world and collectively, if people or rulers are acting that the end justifies the means, imagine what things can happen. Scorpio rules atomic energy as well. Scorpio rules destruction. Scorpio rules anything to do with poisoning. Scorpio rules anything to do with death, massive death as a possibility. So we'll have to be very careful. But on a personal level, again, collectively, this is dangerous energy. Collectively, it's where we have to pray. But when it comes to personal energy, often the individual can transform this energy in a very positive way. As I said, purpose, focus, indiminisable ambition. this Vishaka part of the Scorpio constellation and sign, this part of this, each sign is split into different lunar mansions. It's so purposeful, so ambitious. So you can do kind of a miracle, hero's work, uncomparable achievements of willpower in that area of your life that the Mars and the Sun activates. I'm not saying already from November, but you have 2.5 years to work on that. So we'll cover each of the 12 signs. But there is also a bit more danger because this Sun Mars conjunction is opposite, which is very powerful aspect, Uranus. And Uranus is very close to the star Algol, which is a star of revenge, a bit of a destruction. Uranus is very explosive, boom, 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 and you see what's happening already. As I said, astrological influences can start happening up to a month before. And explosions, everything, even kind of destruction. There is Scorpio rules volcanoes as well, so think about such kind of Uranus on Algol in Earth sign, even the earth shaking in a sense. Oh, I sound so apocalyptic, but Scorpio is apocalyptic sign. Here is representation of Scorpio behind me. The kids made it yesterday. So all of those things are Scorpio, which is howling, scary, spooky. But it's also the rebirth of the soul. It's the soul. It's almost like the soul is thrown into the fire of a volcano, spun there and brought out purified and clean. Pure without all the dirt is burned off of it, all the muck, all the pain, all the trauma. It's traumatic for a bit, but then it's this resurrection light like a phoenix. So this can happen in your personal life over the next 2.5 years in a certain area of your life. But because Uranus is involved, I think the events will be sudden that happen. They will be powerful. They will shake us up, and on a personal level as well. Collectively, there will be a powerful involvement because Uranus is a social planet of fast-moving trends, viral trends, and anything to do with very powerful coming together of people for a cause. So social movements of any sorts, and this will be shaky. But it's violent. I mean, Mars opposition Uranus and the Sun. The three planets are quite fiery, quite explosive, sudden as well. Things will be developing very fast. Things are speeding up for the next 2.5 years. We have a saving aspect to this conjunction of Sun and Mars, those guys. This is Neptune is making exact trine to the Sun. Mars conjunction at 25 degrees Scorpio from 25 degrees Pisces. So the trine is divine grace. Neptune is divine unconditional love, also divine grace. Pisces is, the principles that teachers like Buddha and Christ taught us. Forgiveness, love your enemy. We're all one, embrace it from a higher perspective. What will help us? God's grace, to alleviate those tensions, to alleviate things getting really destructive, this darker side of Scorpio. Neptune, prayers, people coming together in collective meditations, God's divine grace, just because God is graceful, God loves us and gives us extra chances always. Faith, knowing that there is a purpose and meaning for that. And of course, forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that is going to possibly even solve those problems. Softer approach. On a personal level, again, prayer, having faith in higher power and knowing it's taking you somewhere. So this is about this conjunction. The other thing is Saturn is turning direct. But we'll look at this individually. I wanted to look with you specifically about this combination, how it will affect the world. And what we can expect for the next 2.5 years, and because of Uranus involved on Algol, that will be very active next year as well, the energy will get very shaky. And Uranus, and by the way, Scorpio and Taurus, because they're both on the axis of this conjunction, they're financial signs. Scorpio rules the banking industry, where you put mutual finances. Scorpio rules hedge funds. Scorpio rules anything to do where many people gather their money at one place. Scorpio rules from the earth, the treasures underground. So that will be petrol, oil, anything that you dig out from underneath the ground. So these are resources underneath the ground. There can be some big focus on that in the next 2.5 years. We already have that happening with petrol and so on, but I think it might escalate because of Scorpio. There might be some battle there because of such resources, or some power stances and decisions taken because of that. Of course, Uranus is in Taurus. It's connected to the resources above the earth, food, wood, stones, all of those things. The prices basically of commodities is Taurus as well, with Uranus there. So it's a financial access, personal money, big money, oligarch money. Scorpio, Taurus is the bounties of the earth, and Taurus is the food that grows on earth. And so this is where I see the tension and the biggest changes happening. So the financial industry, the food industry as well, this access of food and finances, where the focus of willpower, energy, and having to solve problems, but of course also crisis, because Mars has this energy of crisis and something you have to battle for, something you have to put your energy like a soldier to fix, to improve. And hopefully, but it's about 2.5 year cycle. And I hope that this war that started in the Middle East, and guess what? Middle East is ruled by Scorpio as well in ancient literature. And just like less than a month before that, we see before Mars Sun conjunction there, it's escalating. I really hope it doesn't escalate further, but it seems it's again going to be like a 2 year thing happening. That starts there, and I hope it doesn't involve more of the world. That's why this Neptune maybe will be helping. All right, so that's it. Now let's look at each of the 12 signs. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, November 2023. As you probably guessed by the intro, if you watched it, you would be probably the most affected sign and the most important sign, where that will be mobilized this month, but not only this month, but for the next 2 years. Something tremendous will be expected from you, either in your personal life or in the collective life, because of the the Mars Sun conjunction, which is a cycle which takes every 2 years. And it's happening on the 18th of November, but I bet some of you are already feeling it even a month before, like we saw how it's affecting the world with the Middle East, and which is also ruled by Scorpio. So what can I say, guys? You're called to a mission to play an important role in your personal life, to turn your life around in some way. Death and rebirth of Scorpio energy, but it's almost like the universe and God will pour into you a lot more power and a lot more strength than you've had. And I know Scorpio is the most resilient and powerful sign as it is, but sometimes the powers of Scorpio are hidden. Even they're not aware of them until they get activated, because it's a hidden, buried sign. So get ready. Get ready. You'll be saving us. You'll be the ones that people will be coming to in moments of crisis. But because the power is with you. And remember that this conjunction is happening in the constellation of the warrior. You might be called to fight for something. You might be called for something you believe. You might be called to fight, if it's your Sun in Scorpio, for your goals, for your career, to use all the willpower you can gather and all the ambition that the universe will give you, and purpose and focus that is indestructible, that is indistractable, not able to be distracted, into fulfilling some goal, if it's your Sun. Or something with career, if it's your Moon, it can be focused towards your personal life, towards your relationships, towards your emotional world, towards changing your whole self. If it's your Ascendant, again, it's you, it's everything in your life. It can be focused towards your body and your health. You might be fighting a war. Let's say that's the scary way to put it, but for your body or for your health. Or you might be mobilizing all your energy to improve your body and health, because Mars is a planet which wants to improve things, funny enough. So you might be asked, for example, some of you might really use amazingly this energy, that they transform their body, whether it's your sun, moon, or ascendant, they all rule the body, especially both the sun and the moon. And the ascendant is the health and the body. With the ascendant is more geared towards the appearance. With the sun and moon, any changes that you do to your lifestyle, they affect your health directly, your vitality, your hormones, your whole well-being, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. So they're all related to health. So you can, for example, transform your appearance over the next 2 years. May lose 100 pounds. And if you've never been able to do that, now it will become possible for you. Especially the later born Scorpios will feel it very strongly, because the conjunction is happening in those degrees, the last 10 degrees of Scorpio, but still, all Scorpios. Or you might transform you might start working out, you might be called to do the battle of your life, but remember, it's the Arch de Triomphe, that the symbol of this lunar mansion is where the conjunction is happening. The warrior that comes back through the Arch Triumphant after winning the battle. So whatever battle you're going through, you're winning it. You can become way more intense and actually argumentative and pushy. You already are. A lot of Scorpios have this. I mean, there's a lot of gentle Scorpios, I can't definitely, but you can be asked to allow your Scorpionness to lead in some way, because your skills as a Scorpio might be required in some situation, whether it's crisis or whatever, to mobilize all your energy in moments of crisis, in moments of sudden changes. You're the man now, not just in November, as I said, for the next 2 years. Also, it's like for you, definitely a brand new chapter in your life. And that can be very good, a brand new chapter where you're starting on a new direction, a new lifestyle, a new habit, a new, if it's the sun, it might be even career. And that will require to mobilize all your energy for the next 2 years. It's not going to be like, oh, I have to do it. You'll be like, I'm doing it, your focus is there, your laser-like focus. You're even excited into it, or you're pushing somehow with your own willpower in that direction. But you see, you're the sign that, even though it's the most strongly affected, has the most willpower and the most influence over the effects of this conjunction over the next 2 years. So I see Scorpios as the people who do some feat of heroism, some feat of willpower they never could before. Whether it's doing something you've always been afraid, whether it's doing something that you never thought was possible, you would find those resources now, and you'd shock yourself, and you'd surprise yourself, and you'd amaze yourself, and you'd horrify yourself. Because sometimes this nakshatra, that the conjunction is happening in Scorpio, it says that it's so obsessive that it can trample over others to get to what it wants, or it can use any means to get to the goal, which implies some kind of immorality as well, or some kind of extreme manifestations you have to be aware of. But for people that need this willpower, it's a godsend to do, if it's your sun or ascendant, to do some big feat, and especially physical body health, strength. There might be some battle that you have to lead as well, and that you'll be protecting someone or something that you believe in, some focus. I don't think it will be physical thing. It's definitely the nakshatra, lunar mansion of purpose. So this purpose, something appears to give you this purpose. But of course, you have to be careful, because there is the extremeness of this energy of Scorpio as well, which is being too extreme, being too horse with blinkers, and being controlling. So those tendencies can intensify, because you're called into some leadership role now to take some initiative over the next 2 years. Whether you want it or no, it will happen. You would mobilize your forces somehow, I don't know. And it's not just in November. Maybe it will start in November or even earlier, or into December. But it's truly the next 2 years. Even if this thing doesn't appear immediately now in November, please do come back to this video. Save it in favorites. In 2-3 months from now, I'm sure it will start making sense to you. What you're called to do, and something that mobilizes your strength, more motivation, Even if you've lost, if you remember, that for the past 2 years, the South Node was transiting your sign, Scorpio. And South Node is the tail of the dragon. It excretes the life force. It can lowers it, or it can make you more disinterested in the material world, or it can make you less motivated and might have made you for the last 2 years more tired, or just more detached, kind of disconnected, almost spiritual, But now now it's gonna change. So maybe that's exactly what you need, this pumping of force of the warrior Mars, of the creator sun, of the solar energy. And as I said, it's not just in November. It's infused in it in November, but it's unfolding over 2 years for you to do some great achievement of some sort, whatever it is. And the Sun-Mars conjunction as well, you have to be careful more of accidents and things like that, but as well also fighting with others and power struggles with others. Because remember that it's opposite Uranus, the Sun-Mars conjunction. And especially the last 20 degrees, they can feel especially strongly this kind of clash, power struggle with another. Because you're learning to assert yourself more or to express yourself. This is a dharmic house, the first house to express, to understand who you are, and to the talents that you have to initiate, but there might be a clash. And especially if you're trying to be more controlling and bossy, Uranus is in your 7th house. Others might want more freedom and might cut you off. Or because it's how you react to others, you might cut off others as well. So there is this possibility here. Maybe not the whole 2-year period, but especially November is very strong. But you'd notice that the next year, the year after that, into it, you might cut off some people from your life big time. But also new people can suddenly appear, because Uranus is part of the Sun-Mars, kind of configuration. And you can take some very decisive action, especially in regards to others, because some very fast-moving developments happen in regards to your relationships that make you become courageous and take initiative or do something. But yeah, you'll be expressing yourself more forcefully, more powerfully, hopefully not more aggressively, but that's also a possibility. And you're required to use a lot of willpower, but you can achieve so much. Now it's like seriously some feat of willpower that wasn't possible before. And you initiate. It's very important that over the next 2 years, you'll be put in a role that you initiate, and some new role is coming to your life where you have to cope alone and deal alone, or learn to be independent in some way. This is the most independent possible configuration. If someone who is in a dependable relationship, or depend on the system or on someone, something will happen that either you rebel or you're thrown out of this dependency and thrown to fend for yourself and to become independent and to become strong. And the fastest way is also to make your body strong and to initiate new beginnings, new learnings, and new, whatever it is that you start. Something that you work, something big you start, that you work on it for a couple of years at least. So that's the very important Sun-Mars conjunction for you guys. But there is also Saturn turning direct. It's pretty much on the same degree the whole month, so you might very gradually start seeing those changes happening, but there is a change in direction, and it's in the 5th house, and that's a house of self-expression. So it's another self house. Just like the first house, a new role is coming to you, like a shedding of skin, a new, more active, more involved, more public role is coming to you with the Sun and Mars, because they're very visible, not shy planets in your face, and a role that makes you be the initiator, to start things, to be more powerful in the eyes of others and in your own eyes. In the same way, Saturn in the 5th house, which is another self house, is turning direct. So if you had any blockages to your self-expression, shine daisy, wallflower, whatever, or if you've been kind of hit in some way on your self-confidence or self-expression in some way, when Saturn starts moving direct, this starts easing and improving, and any kind of holding you back to self-expression starts falling apart, and you're allowed to self-express more. Or if you were working on some creative project during the Saturn retrograde period, but it was blocked or delayed, or you just had to put extra efforts, now you're going to start seeing the results, so it starts moving forward. Maybe you're doing a website, maybe you're doing a business that you're not seeing it's been going slow, but Saturn starts moving direct, and things start moving ahead for the next 7-8 months till Saturn is moving direct again with effort, but direct. Or maybe your love life was on the low. Maybe it was dry, Saturn. Maybe it was a bit like Antarctica, or maybe it was painful even, or you didn't have time for it because of responsibilities and duties, so you didn't have time to have fun because you're buried in either parental responsibility or work responsibility, and you haven't been able to enjoy romantic dinners or just go to the theater or whatever. Well, when Saturn starts moving direct, again, there will be easing off of those responsibilities or blockages to your love life and to having fun and enjoying yourself. Again, it needs to be more planned, it needs to be more organized, but it becomes easier. Or if there was some blockage, for example, some complications of a feeling of aloof or distant from romantic partner, or even a test of a romantic relationship, but if it's still active, it can start improving now. Or maybe if there was an important decision you took about a romantic relationship, and it was painful for you, grieving process, now it starts improving. Saturn starts moving direct, at least the emotional feeling of it. Now, fifth house also is your children. If there was some complications or difficulties with your children, or in regards to your, in your relationship with them, or what they're going through, or in getting even pregnant, Saturn starting moving direct, they can be improvement now. Or if you've been working on changing something with working on some project with your children, or they've been changing something in their life, they've been making some important decisions, now you'll see that things will start coming back to normal, improving, becoming easier. If you've been working on some creative project, or you felt like a blockage of your creativity, it starts again moving forward. Start turning the direction around. So turn the direction in a romantic relationship, turn around in the direction with the relationship with the child, or in the life of the child, turn around in the direction of some creative project, self-expression, and so on. So that's Scorpio for you. You're the most important sign. Some powerful new beginnings there, and you might play even a very important role for your personal life. One of the memorable 2-year period in your life. I don't think in your lifetime again there will be Sun Mars conjunction in Scorpio. Maybe. But yeah, you're called to gather your forces, mobilize yourself to do something important now. Let's see what it is. And by the way, if you want to hear your horoscope for 2024, it's 3 hours almost. Check out my 2024 video horoscope, the 30% off, and they are available on November the 17th. But if you order it before November the 17th, you get the discount, and we send it to you when it's ready. I'm ready already with them, but I'll hold them off till November 17th because I want to edit them a bit and so on. So also the calendar for 2024 is ready. If you're interested, 130 pages interactive. As I said, those calendars and horoscopes were sent since we started doing them from 2018, around 20,000 of them now. So people love them. They buy them so much. So I keep doing them. This is the most important work for me, and I give you all my heart for it if you want to see it. Thank you.